Welcome to a word that's going to make you rethink. Welcome to Skega. Skega is how good or bad the natural scheme of the world is. When I say the natural scheme of the world, it means shit was going to go a certain way. It just was. It was meant to be. Because if you try to avoid everything, even trying to avoid every single possibility of a path, you will take a path going that way, and someone could say that that path was predestined, and then you could not disagree. Someone could say that every single thing you do, you were meant to do because the things that happened before you to influence your choices were going to happen or already happened. So now, I've got this word called Skega, and it's like how good or bad the natural scheme of the world was. So that's just how the Skega was. It was a really bad Skega. It was a really naughty Skega. The world had a really naughty Skega. We had Nazism. We have all these we have all these ways of dying so young, when the way that we judge everyone's course of life and we judge the way we judge everybody's time here, the way we judge how much God has given every single person, the way we judge the quantity of life, the way that we judge it's about years of time here on earth, is like Skega. So like the Skega was good for you if you lived to be 100 years old. The Skega was really daunting. The Skega was really, really gruesome for Emmett Till. If you don't know who that is. The Skega. Because you don't always need a word for things. And then I just thought, when do you come up with words? So I want to come up with one now. For a fresh reason. For no reason in particular. And I want that word to be Skega. And I want the definition of Skega to be the natural scheme of the world. How good or bad. Because, we've got words that represent how good or bad. How holy you are. How good you are. How kind you are. The Skega, he is a really good person. The Skega was really good. The Skega was really bad. And when I say Skega, because everything else has a different opportunity in this world. Everything else gets treated differently. The world gives back to every single person a different amount. It's crazy. So there are some people that you see in this world who get the life. They've got the life. The Skega was awesome for them. You wonder, how the fuck is the Skega so good for a certain amount of people? How is it so good that this person was spoiled so much? And when I say you ask how, you ask this imbalance, the possibility of imbalance, the God letting this possibility of imbalance exist. Where this person got so awesome of life, and this person got such a shitty life. And you knowing that there is a difference, and you knowing that how can there be a difference? How can you even ask how? How can you even have lips that ask how? How can you even have those words how to ask how? If everything is not perfect and invented by God. Everything must be perfect and invented by God. But then it's not. And then I'm so tripped up. I stand still and then I'm trip. I'm stand still and then I'm trip. Because I think I've got it down. And then I don't. I think of God as being so successful. I think of God as being so complex, clever, and successful. But then when I realize Skega and how evil the difference of Skega is, I think, oh, you can't be there, God. Because you can't be such an asshole, such an idiot, and then exist at the same time, God. So I'm like, oh man, like, how can I help myself get myself back to this point? Because I'm always losing my place here in this understanding. I'm losing my place in this understanding. And when I lose my place, I drift backwards. And then I'm like, I swallow every time I digest a new thing about God that I forgot that I digested before. Oh, I digested that God did that. I digested. And then I get all the way to this point where, like, my furthest point where I'm like, okay, I understand Skega and I understand the difference of Skegas. So that's where I'm currently at with God. I'm like, God, you've got to be such a ruthless asshole with all these differences of Skegas you got. These differences of life qualities. And like, you get all the way to the last point where you're like, okay, you got all these examples of how God is mean. How are you not mean, God? And then put yourself here, please. Put yourself right here, God, and explain. And you won't. But at least you made it to that point where you're like, oh, I can't forget that he did this and this and this. All right, if he did this, this, and this, then it must mean this, this, and this, and this. And then like, I don't want to like say that those are definitions, but they are. They're words that I've gotten to get to a point of realization about God. I actually have used those words successfully to like get to a certain point about God. I've actually used words to successfully point failures at God. And then I'm like, okay, put it together for me, God, because you're perfect, but then these things. And I'm just going in circles. I'm going in circles. But how easy you can digest God is the God. How easily you can digest that God is the God is how you can view your Skega versus other people's Skegas. And unless you see it like a greatness in your Skega compared to other people's Skegas, you won't believe in God. Because you won't feel like God is that great like I do. I don't feel he's that great. That he's made everybody, like, that he's done the good job, that he's done his job of making everybody equal in equality. I don't think he's done that.